How are you doing? How are you doing?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. We did episode today of Giza Tempo with
Oh yeah,
Bureau.
we released it.
Yeah. Dude, that banger at the last round, the last track,
Salt.
what was it? The Lassie,
Clicks.
the Gold Scrolls, and Clicks, the Salt.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that shit was a banger, bro. Like,
Stupid banger. Yeah, low key, I was trying to tag Ricky-san in our video just so like he would like notice it or something. He's like a childhood hero for sure. It's Ricky-san, by the way. I know you were saying Ricky X-san.
you know, and it's funny that I saw that edit on the video. You know what?
And you know,
I knew it. Yeah, and it's funny. I don't know why I was saying Ricky X on. Like it was like my first time like trying to say the word because that was just like I don't know what the fuck was going on in my mind. Like
I think it was just the song you were.
Yeah, I was just like there was a song that he was playing. I'm like I was just like hella invested in it. It was pretty good. It was a collab with Hydraulics. It was like some trap dubstep shit, you know, and I don't know, for some reason I just had a brain fart and I just said Ricky X on, but it's Ricky San. And I like how you did the edit.
It's like in Hunter, right?
Exactly. Like
you edit the abbreviation. You put the abbreviation in there,
to make it.
And I think that was pretty cool because and I know Ricky Song saw the clip because he liked the tweet on Twitter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't even look at the Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to make that a habit. Whenever we post on Instagram, I post it on Twitter too, and I tagged him, and he liked it. And Hydraulics liked it too.
Look, I seen the Hydraulics like it, but I didn't see the Ricky-san one for some reason. But I try not to get on Twitter. Honestly, I do the whole promotion on there, but it's just too much for me.
No, I'm the same. Like when I'm on Twitter, it's just more so just for like knocking the shit out that I need to, and then I'm just out that bitch, you know, because Twitter can be.
What you guys got against Twitter?
You know how EDM Twitter is like.
Shit, like
I mean, you know how. I mean, we're gonna dive into EDM Twitter today too, fam, because I'm actually interested, you know, about a lot of things, especially with like what do you do with like the dance music culture and all that. But thank you so much, Ramona Flowers in the building, our special guest for today's podcast.
Hey.
Yeah, how you feeling, Ramona?
I'm feeling good. Honestly, can't complain. I'm living, breathing. I'm here. Thank you for having me. Honestly, this is dope. Yeah, I'm gonna choose some water.
No, I feel you.
I know that. And you mentioned too, this is kind of like your second interview podcast per se, because the first one you said was over the pandemic, and it was on Zoom.
Yeah, and I didn't really personally know the girl, so you know, it's just a bunch of questions like back to back. So I mean, I know you personally, so I mean, I feel comfortable. So it's.
Why do you hate EDM?
I don't. Quick question.
No, but like I would watch a lot of podcasts, and I can see why some guests sometimes they have like their fence up and they have their walls up, because I know like podcasters have a rep of like, you know, asking those kinds of questions where like maybe people like right away are not comfortable, or like you can tell off the face reaction like, oh shit, you really asked me that shit right now? Like I do like hardstyle. What the fuck you talking about? Like
ain't nobody gotta question my love for hardstyle, honestly.
Word.
I swear, Twitter has given me such like a thick skin. I can take anything. I swear.
I respect that.
I feel like you need thick skin to be on Twitter, really.
Yeah, they will drag you for anything.
And everything. Like, I don't know. And I wouldn't mind it so much if like I didn't already like be hypercritical of myself. I'm like, look, guys, I already know this. I'm already thinking about this in my head. Yeah, I don't need to say it out loud. Like,
just take it with a grain of salt, honestly. There's always going to be people that either love you or hate you, but as long as you love yourself, it don't fucking matter what anybody else thinks.
Hey, facts.
This reminds me of a tweet I saw, I think it was this morning or last night. It says, who the fuck logs in on EDM Twitter and takes that shit seriously? Like, who the like, who the fuck?
Honestly, though.
Yeah, EDM Twitter, it's definitely a love and hate like relationship, because like there's some things in EDM Twitter like, all right, yeah, like there's some like laughable, enjoyable content like from a tweet, and then you see another tweet from another person, and a lot of times it could be like a well-known influencer like in that dance music, just like they're just trying to like rattle up like the Twitter feed or some shit. And, like, you know how EDM Twitter gets. Twitter,
I feel like just Twitter in general.
It's just, you know, Twitter is on that shit, you know, so. everyone's watching what you're saying on Twitter. Even if they're not making a hint that they're looking at that shit, the analytics prove that motherfuckers are sneaking and watching that shit. Trust.
And that's true. Because honestly, before I used to just tweet on my ass, like whatever. And then I'd meet people at shows and they're like, oh yeah, do you remember when you tweeted this? And I'm like,
hell no.
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 No, I don't. But I mean, shit, I guess.
I don't remember half the tweets I post, to be honest.
I'm just grateful that I'm not only EDM Twitter because it's also like anime Twitter and
Love anime.
Okay.
I love anime Twitter and yes, EDM Twitter and alternative rock Twitter. It's just, but it's mostly half EDM, half anime. And then there was this one point, I think like last month or 2 months ago, where EDM Twitter, no, it was last year. EDM Twitter and anime Twitter were just going at it with each other. And I was like, I'm in the middle of this shit and I don't want to get involved. I love my weaves and I love my anime weirdos. Like, I can't do this right now.
Shout out all my weebs out there.
I love shout out to all the weaves.
This morning I learned there's an air fryer Twitter.
Air fryer.
Air fryer.
Air fryer.
Yeah, like there's a Twitter.
Oh.
There's a Twitter. Environment just strictly for like air fryer related things. So like there's like EDM Twitter, anime Twitter, air fryer Twitter.
I need to get on that shit.
I believe it, bro. I believe. You know how many dope recipes you see on TikTok of people just putting shit in their air fryer?
Dude, yeah, honestly, air fryers are, well, they are the future. They are literally now. I
like,
fucking
we're
love
in the
air
future.
fryers. We are in the future. Yeah.
Maybe
you
we
think about that? We're in the future.
No, yeah.
No, yeah.
Like
yeah, no.
2022. Like that sounds hella futuristic.
It does. It sounds.
By now, I would have thought there would be flying cars, but there's airplanes.
I think it was like Back to the Future. They said we would have had flying cars like a couple years ago.
2020, I think it was.
That was 2020.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. No, we got air fryers though.
Yup.
Yeah, imagine how disappointing that would be. Like you're 9 years old, you go into the future to 2022. They're like, oh, where's the flying cars at? Where's my hoverboard? We got air fryers. Like that's it.
Yeah,
Air fryers, and it's like $6 for a gallon.
We got 3 boosters, booster shots. We
Gotta wear a mask everywhere you go.
we got stimuluses, checks and shit.
for 1
that's cool.
year.
Yeah, this is not the future we all wanted. I don't
No.
think.
Fuck.
Take me out.
This is what it's all about right here, the Spotlight Podcast here at Lucid Tempo. If you guys are digging the content, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up on the video, and hit the bell alert button and stay notified because every week we drop in.
Every week, every Monday and Friday, and now Wednesdays. We're starting to get Wednesdays every week, so
Nice.
let y'all know.
So don't be resting because y'all gotta stay on top of it because we're gonna have content coming through. And I'm really glad to have you here, Ramona, because I'm not gonna lie. I think this episode is a little bit more unique because most of the guests that we have, it's like mostly artists, producers. In the past, we've had like, artist managers and like different types of identities that like revolving in dance music culture. But like like from what I've been seeing of your content, being a raver, being involved in the dance music, being an influencer, like you're popping on TikTok on the rave talk shit. Like this is definitely like a unique podcast because I really want to hear like perspective on a bunch of things. And again, thank you for coming to the Spotlight Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Cue round of applause.
Yeah. So before we kind of dive into like how you got into dance music, how you got pretty much involved into everything, I want to do a quick segment with you called Quick Hits.
Right.
So it's like a timed questionnaire what we do here at Lucid Tempo. It's timed. I'm gonna ask you a couple friendly questions, nothing too complicated. Don't think about it too long, and then I'll let you know when we're done with that as well.
All right, sick.
so
I'm ready. Challenge
here we go.
accepted.
All right, you ready? Here comes Quick Hits. So first question: what is your social media handle?
You can find me at Her Creator on everything.
All right, favorite social media?
Definitely TikTok.
Nice. Age you started raving?
I started raving at 20 years old.
Age or favorite genre of dance music?
Man,
A little hard.
it's It's a little hard. I love the harder styles.
Nice. Hardstyle over here.
Hardstyle.
All right, favorite music streaming platform?
Spotify.
All
I
right.
didn't have no problems the other day.
Oh, okay. You heard about that shit, huh?
I heard about that. I was like, shit, sucks to be y'all.
I thought someone hacked my shit that morning. I'm like, fuck, Spotify ain't working. Anyways, this shit's timed. Favorite DJ?
Fuck, does it have to be hardstyle or just?
Just like if you're at the top of your head.
Oh, Keizo.
All right,
Keizo's
bet.
my favorite.
Special skill.
I can make goat noises.
Prove it.
Prove it. And maybe after this shit's a little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, handle. No. You about to do it right now.
That was
First festival.
Nocturnal Wonderland 2016.
Why?
My favorite festival, is that my favorite or my first?
Yeah. Why? Why was it your
my
first?
Because I wasn't into the rave scene back then,
okay.
but my best friend Ashley, she was like really into it, and she was like, "Yo, let's go camping," and I love camping, so I was like, "All right, say less," and I fell in love with the vibe, the culture, and the music. I didn't know who was playing, honestly, and
It was all new to you.
everything was new.
Got it.
I was coming from like metal and alternative punk, Warped Tour, all of that. So coming into EDM, super fresh for me, and it was amazing. I loved every moment of it.
Awesome. What is your dream festival?
DEF CON 1.
And you were explaining earlier before we recorded, you actually have a trip planned for that as well.
I do. I'm going this year with all of my girls.
Well, for those that don't know what DEF CON is, like, do you want to kind of explain
Yeah,
like
of
what that
course.
is?
So DEF CON 1 is a European festival, and it's all hardstyle. And this year they're actually making it very special because usually it's 3 days, but this year it's 4 days, and it's camping, and it's in the Netherlands. So I'm super stoked about it. That's like the motherland of hardstyle, hard dance, everything. And I'm just ready to make new friends and to experience all my favorite artists in one lineup. It's over 100 artists of hardstyle, and a lot of those artists would never come to the US. So
okay.
yeah, they're really hard to book because of,
Right.
reasons. And I'm just super stoked that I get to experience that this year. It's going to be dope.
Now that you mentioned that you speak some truth, because there's that uniqueness when going to international festivals where I know a lot of artists and producers, they have a hard time getting a visa to perform in the US. So I feel you on that. I'm starting to realize that now, like, I can see why more people are just rather just go to a festival internationally for like a preferred genre to see like the artists are like really, really pushing that shit in their own respective region. And that's what sucks about a lot of these artists is like the visas, wherever they're at, like, whether it's like in Europe, Australia, China, wherever the case may be. That's a problem. Like, you want to see your favorite artist, but maybe it's because they can't get the visa to come play over here. Like,
come over here. So
like what are some artists that like you haven't been able to see in the US that you like to see over there? Like,
okay, so I'm like super stoked for Active Rage. I'm stoked. I'm stoked. Excited
out here.
Excited. For Nosferatu, he's hardcore. Active Rage's raw style. I'm excited for Angerfist back to back. What's his face? Deadly Guns. They both have been to the US, but that back to back, like, that's like on some other level. There's just so many artists that I could name a whole list, because literally there's not a lot of love for hard dance over here. Most of those artists that are in Europe, they won't come over here. So, but yeah,
that makes a lot of sense though. What you're saying about there's no really big dancing, at least out here in the hard dancing in the US. So that's probably why a big reason why they also wouldn't come out here, because there's no really demand for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Other than like what I could think of is like your common like every Insomniac festival stages, like at EDC they have like the whole BassCon section or whatever, just play hardstyle and stuff.
You know, I love the American hard dance though, because I mean, I'm showing much love to, you know, Lady Faye, Lil Texas, Darksiders, Pulsators, you know, Geo, Junkie Kid, all of them. I appreciate them so much for pushing the hard dance scene, because I feel like without them, hard dance would be so dead in the US. As much as we love our Europeans, it's hard for them to come over here. So they're kind of just holding it down for all of us that love it, you know, here.
Now that you mention it, the festivals that I've gone to, hard dance is not as common as the other genres like hardstyle, techno, tech house, dubstep, rhythm, drum and bass. I can feel like maybe drum and bass kind of fits into the hard dance, but even drum and bass is a little bit more. It's more from observation. It's more popping than from what you're saying, like hard dance.
Yeah,
and I can see like where hard dance gets neglected, but it's very much respectable when like artists like Junkie Kid, Geo, Lil Texas, and his fucking like fast ass like
yes,
like it's cool to see that they're not giving in to like the US trends of dance music. Like they're really passionate about that particular style of dance music, and they're just going all in on that. And that's why it feels so refreshing to hear those sets too, because you're just always bombarded with these same artists playing the same tech house, dubstep. You know, I mean, you see the lineups.
Yeah, I get it. And much love to, you know, all those artists, because they're artists for a reason. I feel like every artist has, you know, their art in every music genre. But for these artists in hard dance to stay true to themselves and just stick through the roots of, you know, hard dance and 150 BPM and up, I mean, I'm a fan forever, man. I love it. I love it all.
I have a question for Robert. Have you ever heard of Lil Texas tracks?
So I know the name Lil Texas. I even know the face and everything. God, dude. I've never listened to the Lil Texas music.
Dude.
200 BPM.
Yeah, he goes hard.
Dude,
he goes hard.
Dude, it's just incredibly it's fast. It's too fast for me. Like, but I can see where the attraction comes with that like style of music. It's just I can see why. Like I can't really understand why. I can't really get into it. I'm gonna be like real like honest, like because I'm more so like a dubstep trap, like bass house kind of person. But I could kind of somewhat understand like Lil Texas style. Like it's different because not the typical hardstyle pace.
It's not.
It's really fast. Like if someone just like pitched that shit up and like dun, 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 like
it's like bang on the fucking
like that shit's literally crack music. Like dun, 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 like oh hell yeah, we out here. Like
you know, it's crazy because his genre is considered textcore, so he made like his own subgenre of music, and he is signed with Masters of Hardcore. I think he's like the only U.S. artist that's signed into a European label.
That's tight.
Which is really dope. I fuck with it, and I have so much respect for the man. But there is higher than, you know, textcore. It's up tempo, and if you guys want to know who that is, it's like Party Razor. Like if you guys are, you know, any of that, and that shit's like crazy. So yeah, there's different variations of hard dance. It's not just Lil Texas and the hardcore, you know, the textcore. You know, there's hardcore, the happy hardcore, euphoric, you know, reverse bass, just regular
reverse bass. I've heard of that.
Reverse bass. Ugh, I love it. I can't get enough of it. That's like TNT, DJ Isaac, all the way. Honestly, the OGs did reverse bass, like Draper's bass.
Like my introduction to hardstyle, like, cause I started getting into it like early 2010, 09. Like Showtech was like my introduction to hardstyle.
OGs.
So like colors of hardstyle, FTS, Freaks on Me. That's how we fuck, man. You know, like that was like my introduction to hardstyle. And then when you compare the hardstyle back then to now, a lot of it's somewhat similar, but when you get an artist like Lil Texas, that's just like making his own like niche of hardstyle, and it's just much more faster, much more unique. Like it's exciting times for dance music, you know, just getting these all these different types of avenues of music, and you know, just being able to delve into it and just have fun with it.
I just love the man's branding, man. It's like he just knows how to grasp people's attention, whether it's within a crowd or whether it's over a screen. Like this guy knows exactly. And it's, you know the name, but maybe you haven't heard the music, but you know who Lil Texas is.
I know what he looks like and everything.
Exactly. Like,
interesting.
I love that.
When I think of Lil Texas, I think of No Shirt.
I think
You're not wearing a shirt,
I think
right?
of vest.
Oh, Vez, yeah, yes,
I think of vest.
right.
Yeah.
Cowboy
Oh
hat.
man, I love him. He's great. He's a great person overall. I love him.
I feel it.
I believe it. Yeah.
Well, let's get into it, Ramona. Like you mentioned that you had a friend like take you to a festival. Like that's where you kind of got more interested into the dance music culture. Like tell me how you were feeling when you went to that first festival. Like, and you were like, all right, like this is like for me, like I want to keep on going to these type of festivals. Like, take me to that process. Because was that kind of like the first time you discovered the music itself, or just like the whole like, festival experience?
No, I did listen to like some EDM.
Okay.
I didn't know it was EDM. Like I think I remember listening to like, man, let me see,
like party rock anthem and shit, like
LMFAO.
right.
No, like Cruella. Like I loved
all right.
Cruella for the longest, just because they were women and they would sing their own songs, and I loved it. I remember listening to DJ Blend. When I would see his videos, that would get me into it. I was like, oh shoot, like this is like 2009, 2010. But I started listening to a lot of like Calvin Harris, like around that time,
That's a good introduction.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, okay, like this is cool. I'm like, if this is what EDM is like, but I was just a little scared to go just because I didn't know what I was going to get myself into.
I got you. Okay.
When I went camping with my friend Ash and, she was all candied out. I remember she had a bunch of bracelets on her and I was like, yo, what the heck is all this? Like, what's going on? And I just remember her stacking it on. And then she's like, it's cool. And she started explaining everything to me. And I remember going into the festival. Like, I mean, camp itself was already dope. So with the people that I went with, and then we have a whole ass festival to go to. I was like, oh, okay, I don't even know what this place is like. So it was at the Glen Helen. And at that time it was 4 nights, 3 days. I was like, well, shit, let's go. And I just remember walking through those doors and I was like, yo, what the heck? And then just a bunch of girls like either coming up to me being like, so nice. And I'm like, yo, this isn't like how the real world is. Like
you're not used to that behavior.
I wasn't, at the time, I didn't experience so much love, like so much love from strangers. I felt like it was exactly what I needed at that time. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the culture. I fell in love with the music. I was like, wow, like, where has this been all my life? I fell in love with just everything about raving and connecting, whether it was sharing water at the time, like giving people like candy bracelets, them trading with me, or just the random compliments of just going through a crowd. It was just so mesmerizing, like, damn, people are really this nice. And it was just like a breath of fresh air, honestly. And I never went back. I've been to every single rave since then, since 2016.
And now, was that your first concert experience, or like before that, were you going to like other concert festivals like that, or not?
I had went to a Hard Summer that year, but that's not really a rave at the time because Insomniac had not taken over. It was still just a regular music festival. I went for I remember at the time it was like Ice Cube and like I don't think it was that year. I just remember that there was just a bunch of rap artists that I was down to see. And I was like, okay, say less. Like, I got, like, let's go. And then it had a mixture of EDM. And then that's when I saw Keizo for the first time. And, that was a lot of, like, rock, alternative, punk. Yeah. And he mixed dubstep. And that was my first introduction with, like, dubstep live. I've heard of Skrillex. I heard what dubstep was like. But seeing dubstep and just bass was damn, that shit was sick.
And what year was this?
2016.
2016, okay.
And that's when you saw Keizo, you said?
Yeah, and I fell
that makes sense, because around that time...
That was very peak Keizo.
And he was doing a lot of rock edits and stuff like that to some of his music, so I can understand why that you would... Coming from like a rock and like alternative background, I could see how you would grasp onto that. Because that's... Like, I started listening to like more alternative and rock at first. And then when I get into like EDM music, there's something about like dubstep and something like that that attracted me like straight to it. And I don't know why, but
No,
I always hear that in people when they come from like a rock background or like an
they go
alternative-
straight to dubstep.
dubstep or something heavy, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was like too, because I remember it was just Warped Tour for me. Like Warped Tour, concerts, indie rock. Like that's all I was into before. And when I graduated high school, that's all I did. And then going to this music festival and I'm like, yo, they mix rock in these festivals. Say less. And the people are nicer. Okay. All right.
That's
But
right.
I mean, that was 2016 Queso. And I remember that was like my first like glimpse of like a little bit of hardstyle, but more dubstep. So I became like ultimate like headbanger all the way. But before Nocturnal, this was Hard Summer 2016. And then I remember in September, I went to a Wasted event and I saw Junkie Kid.
Hey.
I fell in love with his set and I was like, yo, there's something harder than dubstep. And I just saw the crowd. I'm sorry, but like, you know, because I mean, I'm used to the rock mosh pits, you know?
Yeah.
So coming into dubstep, I was like, oh shit, there's mosh pits here too. Say less. Like, I'm down. But I went to this hardstyle event. It was a small ass event. And damn, like the BPM, and it was just such a small, like, space, and just seeing everybody's energy just jumping nonstop. I was like, damn, like the headliner's not even on and all of y'all are crackheads right now. Like, okay. I'm like, I'm down for this. So, man, but I mean, so Junkie Kid was like my introduction to like hardstyle, other than, you know, what the FTS, like Showtech. Yeah, I listened to like some of his music coming up, but I didn't know that was hardstyle because I just thought it was EDM.
Like usually, yeah. Like at first, like it's all EDM to you, but once you actually like get more informed on like what different type of styles, it's okay. This is hardstyle. This is house. This is dubstep. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, so it was dope, and there was there probably was hardstyle at Nocturnal that year. I think that was the last time they had hardstyle, but I didn't know. I stayed at main stage because I explored everything. I was just there for the ride. I saw Alice in Wonderland. I remember seeing Knife Party, and oh my god, like that was like a lot of drum and bass, and I was so into that. So it was like I was in the dubstep community, but more of like the drum and bass side. Like I loved drum and bass, and then I loved bass house, and then rhythm. Those were like my top, like all the way. And then whatever Queso was fucking doing, I was just at every fucking show. It didn't matter.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever gone to the Yost Theater? Back in the day, yeah.
I did go to the Yost.
Did you ever get to see Queso at the Yost?
I don't think so.
Oh, because like when you started talking about Queso, I just started thinking about when I went to go see Queso for his Doghouse tour, and like he had it at the Yost Theater, and he had like inflatable like bloodhounds.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I went to the one in the Palladium.
Oh,
that was
word.
It was October 8th.
Damn, okay.
It was October 8th, 2017. I remember because
Queso is definitely your favorite artist.
Yeah, trust me. Like my dog's name is Queso. He's Doberman.
Oh, there you go.
I fuck with you.
Like I fucking love Queso. And I remember because it was his first tour ever that year.
Yeah.
And I remember going to his haunted house that he had that year. And I remember meeting him. And kid you not, it was like the best time of my life. Because I was like,
my dog after you.
No, well, I didn't have a dog at that time, but I remember seeing him because I guess he wasn't even supposed to be there. It was just a haunted house that he had. And at the end of the haunted house, you get a free shirt. So I was like, oh, say less. I want a fucking Queso shirt. And so when I got my shirt, I think I had seen a tweet that he was going to come to the haunted house. So I stayed for like an extra 15 minutes. And little do you know, he pulled up with Yoltron. And
Yoltron.
And I was like, Yoltron, Queso, yo. And then my friends were over there just like making me so embarrassed. They're like, she's your number one fan. And he's such a genuine, cool ass person. Like, I swear, I don't know. He's so humble. And then just meeting him was just like, I swear at that time. But then, that experience. And then I ended up just adopting a dog. He was a Doberman and I named him Queso. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck with you.
Yep.
I named my dog after my favorite artist.
I was
too.
about to say that, bro. You two have something in common. That's the move.
That's-
Naming your dog your favorite DJ.
EDM,
Yeah, there you go.
for sure.
Honest-
I'm sorry, Bonita. I'm gonna have to call you Hardwell. that's my husky's
Your new
name, Bonita.
name,
Yeah.
Hardwell.
My name is Hardstyle.
That's
Yeah.
wild. No, I was just asking because when I think of Keizo, and especially you mentioned Yoltron, like that's the first time I believe I think we were together at a show too. We had seen Yoltron, or at least for me, like I remember seeing Yoltron at the Yost Theater, and like all those cats, Keizo, okay, Yoltron, like all those fools, like I remember being introduced
Brink
at the Yost
Squad.
Theater. Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
funny, they used
Mayhem
to
and
have, like-
Serum.
Yeah, they used to have like their whole clique and whatnot,
Yeah.
and that's when they were hanging out with .com and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Gore.
I missed that era
That was-
because did you guys see the Binches at EDC? That
Oh yeah, when they do the little puppets and muppets and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so tight at EDC. I was like, yo, I get to see Keizo twice. Say less.
I'm glad.
Say
You know,
less.
it's real tight that you remember that because I feel like a lot of people that I talk with were during the years of like 2017, 2018. I feel like a lot of people kind of like, they do a lot of stuff, right? They go a lot of these festivals, so there's just so much more exciting things happening. And I like how you brought that up about the whole Binches with like Keizo, okay, and all of them because like those were all like seriously like faces of dance music like
At the time,
at the
bro.
time.
Yeah,
they were
they
so
were-
influential.
It was literally a
They were
phase.
influencing us for sure. Like I
Right.
was looking at OK, like he was like God, like OK is still one of my like top like influential artists, just because like he does his own shit and he's not scared
Yeah.
to go laugh or do exactly what he wants to do. Because when he came into the game, he was making that weird trap shit, like some dope hard trap, and I fucked with it so heavy. And then he just went left with being more of a stage performer
Mhm.
and then doing all that. And I like that even more too, because like I like people that are very musician based. So when I see all that, I'm just like, damn, you're taking like EDM to like a different aspect of
They're
what EDM is.
artists,
Yeah.
and the way I see it when I see them perform, I'm like, you guys are doing the damn thing. You guys are performing. This is great. I appreciate that phase as well, because when I remember seeing the Binches even that year, I was so hyped. I was like, damn, we get .com. It was like a 4 back-to-back that I've never seen before at the time. I was like,
So was that like your first back to back, and that
was the main reason. Obviously, because Keizo was on the lineup, but
Word,
it was
word.
like, yo, I don't know when this is ever gonna happen again. So,
Never.
and that's always my excuse on getting a festival ticket. It's like, when is it gonna happen again? You never fucking know. Life is so short.
And it hasn't happened recently. The Binches, no.
It was a one-time thing, and that's
They're
Yeah.
all doing their own thing now,
Yeah.
like
Respectable,
respectively.
yeah.
respectfully.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no hate. I'm just like, damn, I'm glad I was there.
Right?
Honestly.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Damn. Like we're getting a lot of shit this year as well. Like we fucking have Kaskade Deadmau5. Like
Yeah, let's touch on that real quick. Did you
Teaming
listen to
up,
that
like-
track?
I seen that. Yes. I was like, yo.
I listened to it.
I
for
listened
sure.
to it right away. As soon as it
Shit.
came, I was like, all right, let's see what the fuck we're getting ourselves into.
Two fucking legends.
It was literally what I thought it was gonna be, bro. It's literally the
It's like a
progressive
remix
house
of-
of what I've heard, like past Deadmau5 and Kaskade shit when they would collaborate,
Mhm.
and I like it because like it's just a good fresh it's just good fresh air, compared to like what you're listening to nowadays, which is a lot much more harder, louder, like it's just like much more crazier. And then like when you listen to the newer collab with Kaskade and Deadmau5, K5, Escape, like it's definitely brings you back. Because you said you got into 2016, like for myself, like a little background, and especially Robert, like we got into like 2009, 2010. And like that's around the time where like that kind of progressive house was like settling in. Like I remember Deadmau5, and then more later there was like the Vichy levels, and then Deadmau5 Ghost and stuff. So like it was real good. It was real good to hear that type of style in these times, because it's kind of like of a reflection of like how things used to sound back then to what it is now. And someone like myself, like I could appreciate that a little bit more compared to like a new timer that will just come across like K5 and be like, oh, like this is cool. But like for me, it's like, dude, this shit is legendary. Like,
They're legends. Honestly, they changed the way EDM is now. Honestly, the way I see it,
Facts.
Kaskade and Deadmau5, Skrillex, all of them. Honestly, they're big names in the industry, and honestly, they're very influential on the way I want to say DJs make music today. Honestly, you
In
general,
You're right,
honestly. Mhm.
'Cause, I mean, I could even see it in like my own production, and I'm pretty sure you can see it in your own production. Like some elements you put in, it's because of it. It's what you think is supposed to be there because of what they made, you know. So you're just going off of not, I want to say going off of like their blueprint, but that's what you think the music is supposed to sound like, you know.
It's definitely inspired, like from like our, at least for me, like my idols, like like I get very inspired by like a lot of artists, so I kind of translate that over to what like my creative agenda is, and be like, okay, like this is literally what's popping, or this is literally what's known, people fuck with it, so I'm trying to find that balance of like keeping it my own, but still like keeping it to where like, okay, like this is still like commercial enough for people to kind of still tune in, and like it's mine, but it's still like, you know, today's times.
So let me ask both of you guys, did you guys like the song in general? It was a good song for you guys?
I like
like I wasn't expecting no hard ass drop and anything like that. Like what I heard, it was pretty much what I was expecting. Like it's just like a tune where like late night driving, you know, it's Kaskade Deadmau5. Like it's stress free.
So we're not looking at Deadmau5 and Kaskade. We're not looking at them like you need to make something new. We're looking at them as we just want to hear you guys again. Is that how?
I just want to hear more of them, for how they were back then, now, but just maybe just continuing on with their music, because you can't really expect harder from Kaskade or Deadmau5. They are their own, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I want to hear harder, I'll listen to other DJs that I know that can, you know, are specialized to do that genre. But with Kaskade, I mean, Kaskade's set at EDC was dope as fuck. I think I remember, I don't know if it was like that deep, dark, like, I don't know if if he played techno, but it was like, I remember being there and just recording my friend Gabby at the time, and she was just living her best life. And I was like, this is her favorite artist. And she's been raving for like almost 10 years or so, or 8 years. But just seeing her see Kaskade, it was like, okay, this is what he's supposed to be making all of us feel, because she was having like an amazing ass time, and just watching her made me happy. So same with Deadmau5. I mean, I don't ever get tired of seeing Deadmau5. I see him on a lineup, I'm gonna go see him. I'm sorry. I love Hardstyle.
Don't be sorry. Hell no.
I love Hardstyle, but I am gonna see a legend on a lineup. I just give them that respect. Like, fuck yeah.
I'm glad that they hold that type of how do you say it? Just that tier where like you don't want them to sway too different off of what they're already doing. You just want to hear more of what they've already been doing, you know?
Yeah, like
and
that's
I feel
them.
like and I feel like I want to say fans or just people in general, they expect different for every release, but I think they branded themselves off of, we're not gonna sway ourselves from our vision and stuff like that. And like, I really like how for this track they went off of you could hear the resemblance of I Remember in this track, kind of, you know, like you feel the soft vibe to it. And I think that's what they like to keep more. Like now in EDM, there's a lot of aggressiveness in it. A lot.
Yeah.
And that is definitely not that, you know, that's more soft. This is calming EDM. This is where like you're supposed to just chill, vibe, and take in the music, and then, you know, it's supposed to be like a calming. There you go. It's calming for me. Is when I listen to Kaskade and Deadmau5. It's a calming EDM. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's something that I'll play after the gym. after the gym. Like, you know, coming back, and I'm just like, all right, detox.
Respect.
Yeah, I feel you.
No, like for myself, like my set is more so typically a lot more on the aggressive side. So maybe I wouldn't be playing something in my set like Escape, like the new collab. But like again, like maybe like there's like if there's like a mix where I could get I'm how would I say this? I'm a little bit more prone to be to do those type of style of music. Like I'll rather do that like in a mix. I mean, again, it's always just a setting. Like maybe I'll be at a beach, like I'm closing, and like the vibe is just asking more for like that like progressive house type shit. Like yeah, it really just depends on setting, but. Like for someone like myself who's been listening to dance music for more than a decade, like that for me it was just it was just a cherry on top. Like just listening to it, like that's the Kaskade and Deadmau5 collaboration style that I remember when I first got introduced into dance music. So it was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, let's get back to you, Ramona. Let's get back to you.
And now back to me.
So 2016, you went to your first festival. You fucked with it. You're now like getting into the rave scene. Like, when was the transition for you when you were like, okay, you know what? Because now like you're affiliated with Insomniac. You know, you're going to all these shows. You're popping on TikTok. You're creating like this dope ass rave content for people to share with their friends. You know, have a laugh. You know, you're going out to these festivals. People are recognizing you. Like, when was that? Like, was that an accidental transition for you, or like was that intentional? Like, you know what? I want to go this route of like being a creator of like dance music, make this content, you know, be a little bit more involved in the scene. Like, was that intentional or was that like accidental? Like, tell me about that transition. Like, I'm really interested in that.
So honestly, I was just raving. Like, I was just going to these festivals. Had no idea what the outcome was going to be. I just knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, but it was hurting my bank account. I was like, yo, but then, you know, your girl got like 2 jobs at the time just so I could rave, pay for my regular expenses and stuff. So I was like, man, I don't know. But honestly, once I got into like EDM Twitter and I started meeting more people that liked EDM, because honestly, the only way I thought I could meet people was at the actual raves, and I was completely wrong. So once I realized that there was like more, I was like, oh snap, okay, well, let me meet up with all these people at the event since you guys like these genres, you know? So then actually going to these events, it was like, you know, I didn't really make content at the time. So this was like, I want to say 2018, you know, already a couple years into the scene.
Okay.
I was just going in there, meeting people. Oh, meeting people.
Hey, don't do that again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you. For the cloud. It's for the soundbite.
It's all right. Get tested. Check.
Hey, you're right though.
Yeah. So,
all love.
I don't know. I'm not saying it was accidental because I want to say that I manifested what I am today before. I always dreamed. I'm like, yo, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this, but I mean, I wanted to find a purpose at the time in life because I didn't know what my purpose was. I was just kind of like working every day. Yeah, I'd requests off just to go to work, to go to these raves, but I'm like, what is my purpose though? I feel like I'm working every day and I go to these raves, but what am I actually contributing and doing with my life? And so regardless of making myself happy, like I'm very empathetic and I care about others. So I was like, what can I do to make everyone else, you know, happy as well, not just myself? So COVID hit, you know, and unfortunately, and honestly, I was bored at home and I was going to work. I didn't lose my job at the time. I worked at Amazon as a delivery driver. So I was just listening to music all day. But, you know, inspiration came from me wanting to do Vine years ago. I've always wanted to do Vine. Fucking rest in peace, Vine, you know, never forget.
They were a stepping stool for all these other social media.
So, platforms. You know, for Vine. But I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do it with music. I've always would think of a song and be like, what if I put a quote like this and I'm over here mouthing out the lyrics of it. And then that's when I thought of TikTok. I was like, well, what the heck? They changed from Musical.ly to TikTok. Yep. So I was like, okay, like
that's what it was. Musical.ly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. Because I remember before TikTok, people kept being like, oh, follow me on Musical.ly. I'm like,
what the fuck is that?
And then it became okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
And honestly, the way I saw it, it was like a bunch of little kids at first.
My little cousin was the one that kept telling me.
They were aimed towards kids at first.
That's so it was just like, this isn't for me. Like, I don't know about this. But then once it trends over to TikTok, I was like, if it's like Vine, I got this. So honestly, I remember there was just a couple creators, EDM creators, and I would look at their stuff and I'm like, I can do this, but I can do this with Hardstyle because I fucking love Hardstyle. I listen to it every day. So why not? And then that's kind of how it all started. And then, you know, I started getting, you know, like creators like, well, artists like Lady Faith, Andy the Core, you know, commenting on the music that I would do on them. They'd be like, yo, what the heck? And I'm like, yo, hi, oh my God.
Right.
So it was just, you know, just something that I did just to make people laugh. I just wanted to bring positivity onto the feed because there was just, everybody was sad. Everybody was depressed. And I mean, I was too, but I used this as an outlet to kind of just, you know, I'm sorry, did it again. I used this as an outlet to kind of like, you know, it's okay. We're going to be raving again soon. It's just for now. I had so much hope that we were all going to be under the dance floor again. So the music just kept pushing me. And then, you know, opportunities came my way. And, you know, now I'm here and I couldn't be happier. I love the fact that, I mean, I made an impact, whether it was big or small. I still feel like I'm growing as,
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I'm still growing as an influencer, but it does have its perks. Like, it does feel nice for people to just recognize who I am just because I'm already shy, an introverted person. Unless I already know you, I'm already shy, you know? So for someone to be like, oh, I follow you on TikTok, and it's just so easy to just fucking, hey, you know, interact and just make that connection in person. It's not just virtual. So I love that about it because, you know, it took raving to another level. Now it's like, it's great. I couldn't be happier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember one of the content videos that you did and I would see on Twitter was the one where you're like, there's like 5 ways to like dance to hardstyle or something. I think that's like the one like hella pop. I think you got like 1 million, 2 million views or some shit. It's the one that I think you have pinned on your Twitter.
Oh, it's the different types of hardstyle.
There you go. Different types of hardstyle. Because you do a lot of content. Like, it's just so much content and like it's fucking popping. I like how like a lot of the content that you make, it's very relatable. So whether if it's like someone that loves hardstyle or someone that just like loves raving in general, like you make the content, like I can see why it gets shared. I can see why people are very attracted to the content because it's very relatable. You kind of understand the like psychology of like what people can like kind of connect to. And that's really cool that you're able to kind of, you know, go on that avenue and just, you know, be an influencer. It's real tight. Like how often are you getting recognized when you go to these festivals? Would you rather like, this is a good question. Do you like constantly being recognized, or would you rather just kind of like, you know, try to put a mask over you, try to stay like hidden? Do you like getting recognized?
I love it. I fucking love it. I'm not gonna cap.
For sure. We ain't capping here on Lisa Temple. Like, hella transparency over here.
No, yeah, I love it, and it's not because like, oh, it makes me feel superior with anybody. No, I love it because I'm putting this content out here for everyone. So the fact that you even support me in any way, whether it's a like, a follow, even a comment, like I see it all. So seeing them in person, it's so rewarding because I'm just like, dang, like I see you online. Like I know who you are. So it's a nice, genuine, warm feeling every time I run into someone. And yes, it happens every show, whether I am in, you know, LA, I can be here in the IE, you know, because, you know, the Nas is right here. I'll get recognized there. I'll get recognized in LA, you know. But the rave community is so small, but the hardstyle community is even smaller. So everybody knows everybody for sure. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
So motherfuckers can't be out here thotting around and not being recognized, you know? Like, you're fun to be recognized in these smaller communities, so...
when you're dating me, low. For sure. Yes.
Damn. And like, let me ask you this, like, because I feel like you're a little bit much more connected with, like, the public social EDM audience when it comes to, like, TikTok and Twitter. And like I would think there's like a lot of other influence, because I know a lot of friends are like they're influencers itself. Like I have a friend, her name is Chelsea, and maybe you know her, but she does a lot of like shoots for like rave brands. I would say she's like popping
raves, right?
Like Chelsea Carpio. I don't know if you ever heard of her. Well, I wanted to ask you because maybe we don't see this as like people that are maybe not necessarily influencing, but is there some sort of like, for sure, like influencer drama between other influencers, or do mostly rave influencers like kind of keep it plur?
To be honest, I haven't gotten into any influencer drama.
Oh, that's what's up. That's good.
Like I like to keep the plur, whether it's at the rave or outside of the rave. I
Okay.
want to say there will be drama on Twitter. You know, people won't agree with you. But when it comes to influencers or, you know, other content creators, I'm all about supporting everybody. And I receive the same feedback back, honestly. So I don't know. I haven't ran into any influencer that has rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
I like try to see the good in everybody, but I don't, you know, I don't like to involve myself in that.
Because I feel like you haven't rubbed me that way as well. Like you seem very genuine. Like you really like that shit. Sometimes I come across Twitter and I see threads like where people they meet a particular influencer they follow for a couple months and they actually meet them in person and then the experience is not necessarily what they expected. It's like, oh, the influencer was like particularly rude or not as welcoming as they are on social media. So I just kind of want to get a little bit more insight on that. But I guess it's good. It's pretty dope to hear that, you know, mostly influencers are not really beefing with each other. Because, you know, outside of EDM, like other influencers in their respective industries, like you could tell like it's a common thing where influencers just kind of like beefing with each other, you know, creating that freaking
that friction.
Yeah, that friction and shit, you know.
Unnecessary
just
beef.
internet drama shit, you know. But it's cool that you kind of keep things to yourself. Like you're not really trying to involve yourself into that. All you're worried about is content, you know, bringing joy to those are a part of the rave scene, just doing you. And it's pretty tight. Like that, you popping on TikTok, popping on Twitter, like shit. Like people are showing you love. Like that's what's up.
And I love them. And I love everybody. Honestly, all my supporters and, you know, everybody that I haven't met yet. You know, there's people that I'm like down to meet outside of the state, like in Florida or, you know, Washington, even, you know, the Netherlands. You know, I'm excited to meet all these people. And it's great that we all have one thing in common and it's music. Like that's a powerful ass language to love. So, you know, you just have to keep your head up. Never fall into the drama. Never get yourself sucked in because the world is already negative in itself. Like, why bring that negativity onto other people? You don't know what they go through at home. They're probably, you know, hating their life as well. So,
and they're just going to these places to escape.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, you know, and if I do come across people, you know, it doesn't matter whether they're like super fucked up. You know, I've had people like super messed up and, you know, they don't know what year it is. They don't know their name. But, you know, I see them and I'm like, yo, you need some water? Let me go take you to the med tank. You need some help. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm still a raver. You know, I'm still going to be here to help you out regardless. Yeah. So anybody that finds me at a rave and you're messed up, yo, come to me. I got you.
Hey, out here. Rave mom out here. What's it called? I do have a question.
I'm going to fill up real quick.
For sure. So how long would you say like you've been on this influencer like journey for now? Like months, years, like what is that?
Since 2020.
Since 20.
So 2 years, almost 2 years, yeah.
So getting in the 2 years. So like where do you want like this whole journey to lead you to? Or like where is it you see the next step of like influence and then now what? You know, like what is the stepping stool for influence, you know, because I feel like influence is like I said, a stepping stool for you to get your notoriety, to get people to what you are, to who you are, you know, like what do you want to take this?
Honestly, the only thing that, I mean, right now I'm just already living it, like as in like traveling the world, you know, going to these festivals, meeting new people. But if I can leave anything, it would just mainly be, you know, coming across every person that I meet, you know, just showing them love regardless. Because I just feel like there's not enough of that here. So, you know, whatever life takes me, I can be super successful. I could flop within the next year. But if I'm meeting you or regardless of what it is, I just want to be happy with life, be happy with myself and spread that. I want to keep making content, you know, I want to keep spreading that. Like I'm like so happy doing it. It's just a nice escape, you know, just like how you DJ for all those people and it's just your escape. You're giving all that energy onto those people and they come for you because, you know, they love you. They want to see you. It's the same online. Like I go online, I'll go on my live, you know, I just want to see people happy. I don't want any negativity within each other. Even when I see all the Twitter beef or TikTok beef even.
TikTok.
I mean, there's TikTok
That's
beef.
wild.
People are so crazy on TikTok.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I just hope that it just brings bigger opportunities with my content. I would love to, you know, quit my 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, you know, and just focus on content creating full time. Honestly, that'd be like my dream. So.
Yeah, because I guess honestly, I just the little bit we've been talking and like your enthusiasm for EDM in general, like I could see you like not just stopping at like small, not I don't want to say small, like TikTok videos and like Twitter video, you know, stuff. I could see this being like you could talk. You're really good at talking, so I could see this being like a step for maybe getting in like advertise like being in a role like an actress or even being a spokesperson, you know, because like I said, you could talk. You're really good at talking, and
Thank you.
you're well spoken at the same time. You know, you have a clear understanding of what you're doing and what this community is, especially EDM, because EDM is wild. Like if you think about it, it's really just
It's crazy. It's crazy, but man, I love it. I love them all. But yeah, I was thinking of even trying to like do YouTube just to kind of like vlog, like you know, my different experiences, and then just be a little bit more personal with my followers because they only see me through sounds. I never really talk. When my supporters even hear my voice, they're like, what the fuck? Yo, your voice is deep as fuck.
I have noticed too with your content, like a lot of your content that you do, it's like it's not necessarily you like using your own voice. It's like mostly it's just sound like over your content. And you're just like playing the part of whatever the content you're trying to create. So I get where you're coming from. Like just getting a little bit more personal, where people can hear your voice, and it's like actually okay, like this is actually Ramona right here. Like I can hear her voice, like. This is what she's up to when it's not some EDM stuff. Like, all right, this is tight. That's cool. I think vlogging gives a real dope personal perspective as to who you are outside of like the you know, more specific content that you'll probably put on TikTok and Twitter. Like vlogs are a bit more personal. You can kind of tell like, oh, that's more so like how they are. Like
exactly
outside of when they're not like on that mindset of creating content, if that makes sense. But that's tight. And now you're not only just making content for yourself though, but you're like affiliated with Insomniac. And like I kind of maybe put the pieces together when like I think I had seen a tweet of you. I think you were like, hey, if you guys are going to the show, like use my link. And then if you get your ticket to this link, like let's definitely link up. And I was like, and there I clicked it. I was like, damn, low-key, I think she's a part of Insomniac or affiliate or whatever. So it's not just you making content for yourself now. It's like now content that you're making for Insomniac, BassCon. Like when did all that happen for you? Like now you're making content not for yourself. Now it's Insomniac, BassCon. Like tell me more about that. How you got involved in that?
Well, as I can't really talk about any of that, it's more of like what I can talk about is BassCon. Just recently, they know that I do TikTok, so they'll ask me like at the show to do some TikToks with them, and I'm like, yo, I'm down. What the heck? So it's nice, to be a part of that, even because that's always been a dream of mine. BassCon got me into Hardstyle. I fucking love them, and I'll support Insomniac all the way.
Hell yeah. Another so like right now all it is social medias for you, right? Okay, so like you don't have like a YouTube or anything like that?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
I want to, but I'm shy.
So like when people think YouTube and stuff like that, I know sometimes it might think of, dang, I got to do this all by myself and stuff like that, right? Like I got to start doing these videos by myself. I got to start, doing this whole setup. But I think even like maybe start, this is just for anyone who's listening as well. I know there's a bunch of other event companies and stuff like that are always looking for spokesmen, like people to go up, like to do almost interview type things. But like, I think with your like background, I feel like you could take your spin on what an interview should be. You know, instead of like going up to these artists and asking them questions, like, hey, let's make a TikTok. And then, you know, you go on like your whole, and you can start doing these like for, like, you're already doing it for other corporations and stuff, right? And you obviously probably do get bookings and stuff for that and whatnot. But, and I'm just gonna keep hammering this in on you because like
he wants to see me on YouTube, y'all.
I want to see you speak because you can.
I mean,
speak.
it's cool. It's cool to be on YouTube, you know, for sure. Like,
We
it's
even-
another
we're
Not
market.
just like I don't want to say you even past YouTube because there's other like Insomniac has their own streams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All these like, and it doesn't stop at YouTube. It could be like you could start doing content for like streaming platforms when they need ads for like documentary they're coming out with that's based in ED. You know, there's all these other things where I feel like you would fit perfect in that niche. Definitely.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
Like, if you ever thought about being like maybe an artist manager?
Shoot.
Like, if you ever thought about that? Like, cause, all right, cause let's talk about this real quick. Cause I've had friends where they become influencers, or necessarily they get involved, they get like really invested into the rave culture, but attending these shows is just not enough for them. Like, they want to maybe become a DJ or a producer. Like, now they're getting more interested, more curious. Like, oh, you know what? Like, I want to be a producer, and like that kind of started out with me. You know, like I've always been DJing, but when I started going to these festivals, I was like, yo, you know, I want to make my own music now. I want to start producing music. So, have you ever thought about different avenues of dance music inside, besides like influencing? Like, you ever thought about DJing? Has anyone ever recommended you DJing or producing? Like,
I've honestly have like, I guess DJ'd, like house, like I've dabbled with it, you know, but I
Okay.
would need my own setup and stuff. But yeah, I've thought about making, you know, hardstyle because I'm like, I listen to this every day. Like, why don't I just make my own? But I wanted to, you know, have my own little mix to it because honestly, you know, the US needs more American hard dance. So I know I already have the support. I just need to get the tables going.
there you go, there you go. Hey, you there you go. You're thinking.
So look,
it.
just YouTube that whole journey. Bam.
Just
There you go.
honestly, possibly, because I mean, I love music so much. I wouldn't mind being involved with it for the rest of my life, regardless of what it is. Mhm.
I feel like you can make that happen, even if it's not producing. You know, I feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like definitely gonna happen. Real quick though, we're gonna have to take a break real quick, and then we'll get back into this with EDM
Alright.
confessions.
Oh yeah.